Hello, everybody. It's your favorite ex-principal again, Aaron Dowdy, also known as RP Grizzly. We have a modern-day book burning, Why They Hate Leo Tolstoy Part 2, written by yours truly. And it's going to be a good time as we get into this. This is a close part of who I am because I was fired as a principal for reading War and Peace around my students. So, I thought we'd do a little deep dive into the various reasons why they hate guys like Leo Tolstoy. If you want to support what I do now that I'm writing, you can come over to the Kickstarter over here, which I'll leave in a link in the description. I'm writing a book which is geared towards young minds to help them want to read old classics again by writing a story in a bit older of a style that they're still interested in reading, that hits all the topics that they're dealing with today with all the modern nonsense that they're under assault by. So check it out. It's a great time. You'll love it. All right, back to the intended programming. Where is it? That's not it. There we go. In our next installment on why the mentally ill running our government's education establishments and entertainment ghettos can't abide Tolstoy. Tolstoy is the nature of his writing itself. One doesn't need to read more than the cover of War and Peace to see just why the knuckle draggers run shrieking for the hills like vampires in a holy water typhoon. Whoa, this is okay. Get into it. What one soon finds is that his books often portray complex character studies and such realism to humanity's failing in morality. No wonder, then, that those who curse the very concept of morals themselves, or even call evil good and good evil, would despise a work which so clearly illustrates the failing of man. Those who want all to not only allow their mental illness, but praise it as right and good, will work to rid the world of all memory of morality. So many kids in the background. That's what you get. Well, join the Kickstarter if you want to clean audio stuff. But yeah, if you ever read War and Peace, there's a huge portion of it, just the first 100 pages describing uh, this how men sin and how they convince themselves to sin. How, when they make promises to people and then convince themselves that they don't need to stand by their word just because they want to do something, right? Slaves to your emotions and your desires, as Paul puts it. And people who are slaves to their desires and their temptations want you to be in the same boat. Otherwise, maybe they'd have to, try some self control and not be enslaved to all of their endless pleasures and nonsense. Anything that reminds the emotion slaves that they are not on the right side of history, but have much more in common with slavering rape goblins must be destroyed. As we've brought into previous points, these rats at the low end of the freak totem pole don't even understand what they read when they bother to grind past a Dr. Seuss book, and they usually don't even know what those are about. The one who fears the ones who fear writers like Tolstoy and their work have longer and end goals in mind. There once was a time when literature explored a broad range of human experience that could enrich a youth's mind. Humanity faces an immortal enemy that has been utilizing the same tactics since he masqueraded as a snake in a garden, that old dragon, and we are not the first to have written down his playbook. Screwtape Letters, Lord of the Rings, and War and Peace all have aspects of the story that share how the demon tricks man into his failing. This is a problem if your goal is to turn all of God's children into a troop of monkeys blindfolded. A troop of I should have switched that around to troop of blindfolded monkeys given knives and 10 shots of espresso. This is I wrote this when I was tired. I really need to clean it up. But this is something to be talking about. There was a time when literature, classics, could talk more than about gay, loss of innocence, and cultural shock. They used to be able to talk about more things than that. Oh, excuse me, female oppression, usually mixed into some lesbian gay crap, right? The broad range, war, nature of morality, what the world would be like without key points of humanity. Blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and in so many different directions. And then you get to this modern era, and the only things that literature, that the publishers of whatnot would publish is it a lack of innocence? Is it about women oppressed? Or oppressed? Is it minorities oppressed? And the last one, is he gay? That's it. And let me tell you, once you get to the older classics, and one day new classics, once we break through all this crap, you will see just how much was lost, just how many different topics were explored in the great body of literary works of the past. The enemy wants you blind to your failings and damaging yourself and everyone around you. Many of these We Are Legion tranny types, full of they demons, are sad, decrepit creatures, not only because of their moral failings, but because they can't even comprehend why they need the adulation of the masses for their fetishes. Many can't even think with words, only images and flashes of emotions. In some ways, a troop of blind chimpanzees with knives are less destructive. War and Peace has a particular character who highlights how man falls from morality and convinces himself of the virtue of his actions. Oh, shoot. Pierre? I think I misspelled his name and I got to get back. It's like Pierre or something like that. Oh, dear. Promises his friend to not join a house full of men of ill repute who have invited him to the kind of party debauchery only rich Napoleon-era aristocrats can conjure. On his way home, the man looks at the path towards his temptation and convinces himself his oath was of small to no consequence, and there was no real reason why he shouldn't go to the soiree. This, of course, leads to disastrous consequences. No scammer likes a killjoy saving a mark from an obvious trap. These books were eradicated from for their uplifting quality, for their calling out of the demon and his tricks. Generations now have been flailing in the dark as they flailing flailing in the dark as they relearn the lessons their ancestors had already discovered through blood and sweat. This is the second reason why Tolstoy in particular has been ghosted by the establishment. A moral population with impulse control isn't so easy to manipulate, to cow, to trick into the sin of tolerance, the sin of Jeroboam, as Vox Day likes to say. Now they barely need to bother, and even most men no longer read, and the women read monster rape porn masquerading as literature. Isn't that the truth? Like, you take away that tie to the past, right? There's more to literature than just learning about the past and past mistakes and all that, of course, but this is one aspect of it. One of the reasons why they destroy beauty in literature and they destroy classical works is they want to break you from all the voices of the past warning you about what they experienced. And it does come up again. The Devil's Playbook doesn't change. Mankind's failings are the same today as they were back then. What changes is the technology and sometimes a little bit of the setting. That's it. So you can learn from all these different perspectives. And honestly, the modern perspective could learn a ton from the ancients' perspectives. So to conclude our second point in the series, though the multi-possessed personality disorder gremlins are too stupid to comprehend Tolstoy and act on instinct, many of their controllers and the spirit behind them all do. So think like more executive types at Disney and Amazon and all that. They're not as smart as you think they are, but they're smarter than your average crony. They understand that they have to play the game right, and they can't just force everyone to be gay without more jackboots on the ground, that kind of thing, right? Those guys that kind of throw out the marching orders through both physical and spiritual means, by the way, those are the ones that really wanted to get rid of Tolstoy. Yeah, act instinctive, their spirit behind them all do. They send their minions against such literature to deprive man of the tools they require to combat their own base nature, the monkey brain, the body obsessed with pleasures and freaks. Thus they enslave man by the enticement of his desires and breed more freaks for their endless procession of blue-haired jackboots coming to a library near you for tranny story hour. We have 1 point left. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. You don't get to the point where someone's dressed in drag with obvious demon horns and stuff in front of toddlers without decades of propaganda, decades of decline, and just decades of people thinking, oh, what happens in the home, as long as it doesn't bother me, isn't a big deal. It doesn't work. All right. Morality doesn't work that way. You actually have to get to the point where you can look at something that you absolutely love, realize that it is propaganda and poison to your soul, and cast it aside. I know it's hard. Pleasures are hard, but it's like looking at someone who, for whatever reason, got obsessed with the taste of Drano and telling them, "Look, you have to stop drinking this; it's killing you." And them going, "No, but I love it. Don't judge me." It's like, no, no, this is actually going to kill you. You can't keep this up. And you may say, "Well, that's an extremely sad." But you're right. Like the crazy blue-haired nonsense we have now, the tranny loco stuff. We can all see it. We can all see that as drinking the Kool-Aid, the Drano. We gotta start convincing people of the things that led to that. The hard liquor mixed with beer that led to the alcohol poisoning, if you will. That's a lot harder. Like all this hard partying is bad for you, Gerald, or whatever, right? You need to stop. And say, I don't care. I want to keep partying. But no, you need to stop. It's bad for you. It's bad for everyone around you. Right? That kind of thing. But it's in literature as well. We we have to start recognizing when these people are playing their games and sneaking their crap into even good books and good movies. Because the better the movie, the more dangerous it is if it has propaganda in it. And that's your last thought from RP Grizzly on this one, or slash ex principal Aaron Dowdy. Don't forget to check out the Kickstarter here. You just got to click on this little picture, and boom, here you are. Come join the crusade, and let's start fighting back for better literature today. All right, see you in the next one.